So this guy cut off his mom's head and he threw darts at it. Now the guy's name is Edmund, and Edmund is 15 when all this starts, and he's living on a ranch in the middle of California. Now Edmund, he has a lot of issues, like mentally, but his biggest issue is that he really, really hates his mom. His mom has been especially cruel and hateful to him all his life, and that's partly why he doesn't live with her. He actually lives on a ranch in the middle of nowhere, California, with his grandparents. And one day in 1964, he's chilling in his grandparents' kitchen with his grandma, and something happens between them, and he starts arguing with her. And this argument gets heated, like really heated. And suddenly, he starts to see his grandma the same way he saw his mom, as someone who was trying to control him. And he isn't about to let that happen. So he goes and he grabs his rifle, and blam, 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 he shoots his grandma. Then he grabs a knife and he stabs her, making sure that she's dead. But now, Edmund has another problem. His grandpa is just now getting home and he's pulling up into the driveway. And Edmund, he doesn't want his grandpa to see his grandma dead. So he goes outside with his rifle and blam, blam, he shoots his grandpa too, right there in the driveway. Then, for some reason, Edmund decides to call up his mom, who he hates. But he calls her up and he's like, "Mom, I killed Grandma and Grandpa." And his mom tells him to call police and turn himself in. And he does. And so, bam, he gets arrested. Here's his mugshot at 15 years old. And from here, the court-ordered psychiatrists deem him as mentally unwell, so they send him away to a psychiatric hospital where they normally house mentally ill convicts. Here's the thing about Edmund, though. He's a super smart kid. He's got like a genius level IQ, and he's very manipulative. And he doesn't want to stay locked up in this psych hospital forever, so he comes up with a plan to get out by manipulating the doctors and staff and making them believe that he's totally cured. So he memorizes all these psychological tests that he's supposed to take so that he does well on all of them. He also learns all the right things to say to the doctors and staff so that he no longer seems like a threat to society. And he does this for a long time, like he's playing the long game. And 6 years go by, and he's 21 now. And by this point, his plan has worked. The state actually believes that he's no longer a threat, and he's released from the psych hospital. They also expunge his record for some reason, which means that now no one can find out that he killed his own grandparents. So now he's a free man, and he can start his life over with a clean slate. So from here, Edmund goes to live with his mom in Santa Cruz. His mom who he still hates, but whatever, it's a place to live. And this sucks for him, because he's at home all the time with his mom, and that's not going so well, of course, because she's still awful to him. She's constantly putting him down, telling him that he'll never amount to anything in life, and that no woman will ever want him. And to his credit, he does try to get his life together, like find a job and integrate into society, but he's having kind of a tough time. Like he applies to be a state trooper, but he gets rejected from the program because he's too big. I guess there are height limitations, and Edmund is 6'9", and he weighs 300 pounds. So he's way too tall to be a highway patrolman. Then eventually he moves out, and he finally does find a job. But then he gets hit by a car and he injures his arm badly. So now he can't work. Just things don't seem to be going well for this guy. So one day in 1972, he gets the urge to commit murder again. And so he gets in his car and he drives around.